Hello and welcome back to part 3, and it's actually going to be the last part in this particular series where we're looking at a day trading strategy for dollar yen. We've looked at various parameters already, looked at doing different optimizations, and we've already come up with something that's looking quite reasonable. In this last part, when we go over to the computer, we've got a couple of more tests to look at, including looking at some out of sample data. What I mean by out of sample is you've already seen that the data that I've used to test and develop this strategy so far has been from 2008 to the end of 2016. Now we're well into 2019 now, so we have some out of sample data from the start of 2017 up until the present day. So that's going forward. That's data that we can test on to see if our strategy works in kind of forward markets. So that'll be interesting to see. So for now, let's go over to the computer and we'll see exactly how this strategy turns out. One last development that I want to look at before we go on to the next stage, looking at out of sample data, is what happens if we take a different breakout level. I've mentioned that at the moment we're taking buy signals when prices break above the high of the session so far, and short signals when they break down below the low of the session so far. But what if we increase or even decrease that number? So we're looking for prices to be further away from that high, or don't have to get to the high to trigger the entry. So I'm going to run that as a multiple of the high and the low so far. So take the range of the high to the low, so minus the low price from the high price of the session so far, and then add that onto the buy price or subtract it off of the short price. So we can run an optimization to see if we can get some better results. And here's the optimization report. And I've actually run the optimization between -2 and +2. So we're looking at 0 in the middle. You're familiar with the results: net profit of 5 million, average trade 8,900. What happens if we go either way? If we go into the negative, so we move this way, results actually decrease. And what happens if we move positive? So we're looking for a level that's further away from the high and further away from the low. Well, looking at the average trade, we've got average trade increasing, where highest is probably here around 0.5. But look at the net profit, that's much lower, 2.2 million. That's because we've got much less trades. We're filtering trades now because we're looking for a much bigger move, much more explosive move within that, well, in this case, 2-hour period of trading. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like using 0.5, but for now I almost am inclined to keep it at exactly as we had it at 0. And here's the equity curve using that 0.5, and it's a great curve. It looks really good. It looks very stable. You can tell straight away by the shape of the curve there's not as many trades. We already know that it makes much less net profit, but it does have a much higher average trade. So that's definitely something that we can work with. But 0 or 0.5, they both seem to work so far. And if I had to choose, I'd probably choose just 0. Next, I think we'll have a look at some out of sample data, out of sample results. And what we're looking at here is the equity curve. Using that 0.5 multiple, we're looking at some out of sample data. If you remember before, we were only testing with data up until the end of 2016, so about where the vertical line on the equity graph is. And I've gone ahead and added 2 years worth more of data. So this period across here is the out of sample data, and it looks to me like the equity curve's gone a bit flat. So it's possible that that 0.5 might have been over optimized, or any of the other parameters may have been over optimized, and it's flattened out. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the average trade, because that's always a good measure. We've got an average trade now of 11,185 yen, 1,000 yen, compared to before was 13,000 yen. So it obviously got weaker during that last 2 years. So that's not always the best sign. Still, nonetheless, I'd probably carry on to, I wouldn't go ahead and trade it, but I might just keep it on my watch list, checking every now and then, wait to see if and when it breaks new highs in that equity graph. And this is the equity graph using 0 from that high to low range multiple. And you can see again the 2 years worth of data that was out of sample from about here onwards. It actually looks really good. So that's actually quite pleasing, really pleasing. If we look at the average trade now for this set of inputs, we have an average trade of 8,996 yen compared to before, which was 8,945. So if anything, it's got ever so slightly stronger in that last 2 periods of out of sample. So that's very pleasing. What we can do, we can actually look at that 2 years of out of sample data just on its own. So on the chart now, I've selected a date range from the 1st of January 2017 through to the end of December 2018. So we've got that 2 year period, and applied the strategy that we've just built together to that period of 2 years. And I think you'll agree that it's quite nice. I mean, would you be happy to trade that sort of strategy? I probably would. And in fact, it's something that I'm going to put in my watch list, and I'm going to carry on watching it on completely live forward data and for the next few months. And I'll most likely look at trading this, or certainly a variation of this, in my own account amongst my own collection of strategies. Well, that pretty much concludes the end of this series on this day trading strategy for dollar yen. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Is it something that you look to trade yourself? Is it the kind of style that you like to trade? Is there anything wrong with it? I'd really like to know your comments and your thoughts. Please leave them below. And while we're here, there's something I haven't mentioned yet, going through those development stages, is although I was looking heavily at the equity curve, which is certainly the first thing I look at when I'm developing, I was also concentrating a lot on the average trade value. And you'll notice, or may not notice, that I haven't included any slippage and commissions in this strategy. But I generally don't do that. But as long as I've got a strong enough average trade and the equity curve is uniform enough, then I know how much in live trading I'm going to be subjected to slippage and commissions. And so anything with, in this case, like an 8,000 yen average trade, even after slippage and commissions, it's still going to be a profitable strategy. So that's just something to bear in mind as well before I get bombarded with comments asking and saying things about slippage and commissions. So I hope this series has been useful, and I hope all the other series have been useful. If there's any particular strategies you want me to look at, test, develop, try and improve, then just leave them down below in the comments, or email me, jared@thetransparenttrader.com. You visit my blog and website over there. There's more of the good stuff over there. And until the next one, I'll see you, and I hope you do really well in your trading.